Now it's time to add few text from field widget. So after the last radio group widget, let me have a padding widget first. And as a child of padding, I am taking a text from field. And I'm assigning the controller as the model controller. So this text field will take the model name of our telescope. So I have defined a text from field. Over here, I have assigned the controller, few decoration. I'm removing the border and a validator so that this field cannot be left empty. And through this text from field, we will take input for the model name. And now it's time to copy this padding widget and paste few more times. So I'm pasting here, and this will be for example, the dimension controller, I think over here. So the dimension controller, let me assign the dimension controller over here. Maybe I should change the label text to dimension, and I will leave the rest as it is. So I have to paste this text from field or padding widget few more times, maybe 2 or 3 times, because we have this weight controller, the lens diameter controller, the price controller. So we need to define those things also. Okay, as you can see, I have defined all the text from field widgets in our Add Telescope page, and the first text from field is for the for taking the model number over here, and the second one for the dimension, and the third one for the weight, and the fourth one for the lens diameter, and the fifth one for the price controller, and the last, the sixth one, is for the stock number. So I have one more controller left in our Add Telescope state widget over here. So I didn't provide another text field to take the description, and I didn't provide the text from field for description intentionally because I don't want to add the description when I'm actually adding the telescope. Instead, we can actually add the description later when we actually add the telescope, and then go to the telescope details page and then add the description, because this description will consist a lot of lines, a relatively big description. So it is not actually the appropriate place. So we will add a telescope with the basic information, or maybe all the information, but the description we will provide at later stage when we go to the Add Telescope page. When we go to the telescope details page. In the details page, we will actually add the telescope details, and we'll update the field of the telescope model class. So we can actually remove this description controller from the class declaration over here. So let me remove this line. And one more thing, whenever we have controller, make sure that we have the dispose method, and we should dispose these controllers. So I have overridden the dispose method, and I have disposed all the controllers. And now I think we are almost done with building our Add Telescope page, and now it's time to add a save button, and I think the appropriate place will be at the app bar as an action button over here. So let's go to the app bar, and let's provide the actions argument of our app bar. And here, as a first child, let me have an icon button. So from onPressed, we will call a method like save telescope, and let me provide an icon, maybe a done, and let me create this save telescope method over here, and this will be an asynchronous function. And first of all, we need to check the from validation, the validator. We need to call all the validator functions from this text field as well as the validator function from this drop down list. So let me write if this form key, the current state dot validate, if everything is okay, every value has been supplied, then it's time to retrieve all the values from every section and create a telescope object, and then send this telescope object to our database. But there is one more field that we need to validate, and that is this image section. What if admin forgot to select the image or capture the image? Maybe he provided all or selected all the information, but he forgot to select the image. So we cannot validate the image by using this from key, but we can actually check the status of this property, this image local path property, because once we have our image, this image local path variable will not be null. So we can check that manually before we validate our from. So inside the save telescope method, we will simply check if the image local path is equals null. Then we can show some message like please select a telescope image. And then we can simply return from this save telescope method, so that this to make sure that this the remainder code should not run. So if the from validates, that means if it returns true, then it's time to show the easy loading. So easy loading dot show, and the status could be please wait. And the first thing we should do is, if you look carefully at our telescope model class over here, telescope.dirt. So in this telescope model class, we get all the information from this these individual sections. But for the image, we have a thumbnail image over here. And to get the image, we need the image name and the directory name and the download URL. And we only get the download URL when we put the image on Firebase storage. So after pressing this done button, the first thing we should do inside this save telescope method, the first thing we should do is to upload the image. And when the upload is done, then we get the download URL, and then we will create an image model object, and then finally we will create the telescope model object. So we'll do that in the next lecture.